Hi, Maddie. All right. Why the bassoon? She does. Fantastic. Great. Okay. Are you liking it? Are you making your own reads? Stealing from mom? Good work. Okay. And tell us what we're going to hear.
Telemann's Bassoon, Sonata, and F-minor.
Great. Excellent. Take it away whenever you're ready. What I'm going to do is talk about all the things that you're already doing right, okay? Because I really like what I'm hearing, and I don't have a lot of suggestions for you, but I do want to talk about a couple of things to help you going forward. You don't happen to have the piano part with you, do you? Anybody have the Telemann? Would you mind? Because we're going to play some of this. I'll play bass line for you. We'll do some of this stuff. So you're getting a really good sound, and I want to talk about why that's happening, okay? Because I suspect you're not done growing, right? And one of the hardest things to do with the bassoon is to come to find a good playing position. And you've done a really good job. It's different than the way that I hold the instrument, but it's perfect for somebody your size. And the thing that I really like about it is how much upward angle you have on the reed. Okay? And I think that's part of the reason you're getting such a big resonant sound, right? So when we sit, sometimes we have this idea, especially if you're coming from a background that's sort of like wind band and sit at attention and things like this, that we're very kind of upright, and the reed angle ends up being sort of very straight into the mouth, and essentially then what's happening is that you're pointing down at your tongue, and there's a lot of space above the top blade of the reed and very little space below the bottom blade of the reed. And that, for me, doesn't give the best timbre. So if I shift position from here to there, right, with only just the change in the reed angle, then I get a lot warmer sound and a lot lower pitch. As you get bigger, you might find that right now you're sort of centered over here, right, which is good for you. But as you get bigger, you may have to use the angle of the vocal and shift the position of the bassoon more over to the left side of your body. So just pay attention to that as you start to get taller, right? That you may have to start, if we look at the reed angle from the vocal, when the vocal's over here, the reed is kind of pointing straight ahead, right? But as we go here, the reed starts to point out. And that's the shape inside your mouth. And I kind of want to follow the line of my teeth, right? So I just want to point that out to you so that things may, I mean, you look really well set up now, things look comfortable. And the other thing I want to say is that he doesn't seem to be using any extra energy. Everything that he's doing right now is very efficient. He's got good air support going, right? And he's not working hard to, he's put himself in a place where his body's pretty relaxed, right? And all of the energy that he's using is going into good sound and good playing. So let's do a little bit, again at the beginning. There we are. Ready? So let's talk about a couple of other things, right? Your intonation is really good, right? How are you doing that? It's a strange question to ask, right? But I'm fascinated by intonation because the difference between good intonation and bad intonation seems to be so small. Right? And you're doing a really good job of that. And my feeling is that the way that I think about intonation is to try and hear in my head the way I want the next note to sound, so that I have a good target to aim for. Is that how you're doing it? Sort of. So like if I asked you to play a low F, right? Finger a low F, would you hear it in your head first? Yeah. So this is the real deal with intonation, right? Basically, if you're not, and we think that this is hard, but really it's not that hard. It seems like an insurmountable test, like I don't have perfect pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. But if I have the bassoon in my hands, I've spent a lot of time with the bassoon in my hands, right? And I kind of remember the sounds of the fingerings, right? So especially if I'm fingering a note, it's easy for me to hear it. So the brain is a really powerful tool, really powerful computer. And intonation doesn't have to be hard. It gets complicated when we have a lot of people playing, because then we have to process a lot of information. But when it's just you, or you and one other person, right, then it's not so hard to hear, right? Good. It's going really well. There's one tiny, there are two trills in here that I really don't like. Where's the one that you like least? Yes. Terrible, right? The D, E flat trill. Yeah. I cheat. I don't trill that note. I put on another ornament. And then I trill the next one. Right? Where is that? And then I trill extra fast on the E. Okay? Can we try that maybe once? Maybe just a little turn like that. Go ahead. Good, and even a little bit more time with the ta, di, da, 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 so it feels really melodic. Good, and then go on. And I might even trill all longer to make it really different. Try one more time, one and the first one. Great, what do you think? Good. So when I run into something, I mean, especially because this piece wasn't originally for us, it was written for, you know, cello, probably, right? So when I run into something that's not very bassoony, I try to make up a better solution, right? I'd love to be able to do everything that I see on the page, and I try first really hard to do what's on the page. And when I make up an alternative solution, I like it to be because I like it better, not because I can't do the other, right? So I actually have a key that'll make that trill, but I still don't like it, right? But I still would rather. It seems to me kind of just more alive musically, right? Do you listen to a lot of music? What kind? Mostly bassoon music. Well, you got to broaden that out because there's not enough music for us. But the more you listen to, right, when you sit down to play, the more things occur in your head to imagine, right? So it's great to listen to all different periods of music and all kinds of instrumentation, solo piano, right, chamber music, orchestral music, chamber orchestra, vocal music, right? And the more that you do with that, kind of the more ideas you're going to get about playing everything that you set out to play. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, sounds really good, really good. Thanks for playing for us.